Kelly Kelly. A day doesn't go by where I don't read anything negative towards Kelly Kelly. But Ken Bolam, when he was here on EGW Entertainment, told me that he didn't think Kelly Kelly was going to last anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and Kelly Kelly proved him wrong, and proved a lot of critics wrong when she lasted 5 years, over half of a decade, and all culminated for her this past June when she won the Divas Championship in June or July. So I think she is continuing to prove a lot of critics wrong, and I give her all the respect in the world for being able to do that. But I think the problem with Kelly Kelly is the fact that she's not being booked against formidable opponents where she can look good in the ring against. I think that putting her in a match against Beth Phoenix is definitely an insult to everything Beth Phoenix has accomplished in her career, wrestling with the likes of Mickie James and Melina, giving us impressive matches, working with formidable opponents, and then you put her in the ring against Kelly Kelly, a 110-pound girl that Beth Phoenix can pretty much mop the floor with, kind of like how I'm anticipating her to do with Eve at the up-and-coming Vengeance pay-per-view from San Antonio, Texas. It would be an appropriate venue to have Eve become the champion in. Don't ask me why I think that, but I think that, Beth Phoenix is definitely the more formidable winner in that match, and in my pay-per-view predictions for Vengeance, out of the 3 or 4 pay-per-view predictions I've made for Vengeance, which you can find on our website by clicking on pay-per-view picks at the top of the website, you can find that I've selected Beth Phoenix to win this match over Eve because of the power, because of the size advantage, and the experience advantage. Now, Eve, a former Diva Search winner, winning the Diva Search back in 2007, has a lot of in-ring experience as well, and has come a long way, kind of like how Kelly Kelly has come from '06, being a part of ECW, and being a part of Raw and SmackDown, all 3 brands of WWE, and even NXT as a pro for Naomi. So I think that both Beth Phoenix and Kelly Kelly have come a long way, and Eve Torres as well, so I really think that this match could be evenly distributed, but I really think that Beth Phoenix has a decisive advantage given the size, the power, the weight advantage, and experience advantage. I've picked Beth Phoenix to win this Divas Championship match in our pay-per-view picks. I've also selected Triple H and CM Punk to win over the Awesome Truth. I have picked Randy Orton, I believe, to win Mark Henry or the Big Show. I think the Big Show is the one I picked to win the World Heavyweight Championship match. And in the John Cena match, I had picked John Cena. So I'll run down through those pay-per-view picks one more time before the conclusion of the program. You can find the pay-per-view picks by clicking on pay-per-view picks at the top of the website in the navigational bar. I will run down through those before the conclusion of the program, and I'll also give you a statistics update on how our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, and our MySpace are faring, with a statistic update coming your way here before the show concludes. But I have picked Beth Phoenix to win over Eve Torres because of a decisive power advantage, experience advantage. There are a lot of benefactors towards Beth Phoenix, and that's the reason why I picked her over someone like Eve Torres, who has worked against an impressive array of talent in the WWE, but not as near as impressive as Beth Phoenix. And the Divas of Doom angle is something that I'm enjoying. I like how they have the pin-up strong maneuver, utilizing it as a submission maneuver where Natalya puts you in a variated version, I like to call it, of the sharpshooter, sending a statement to the Divas division and an up-and-coming opponent at a pay-per-view, using that as a pay-per-view build. I like how they tortured the Divas division and really took it in an entirely different direction, a very unexpected direction. I mean, Natalya's come a long way since mentoring Caitlyn and AJ as a team on SmackDown in the Divas division. She's gone from being that now to a noticeable and formidable opponent for somebody in the ring, and Beth Phoenix and her make a great team. I really enjoy the whole power and things that they bring to the Divas division, a very different look for the Divas division since the days of Chyna, Sable, Sunny, definitely. And I think that I hope they continue to take the Divas division in a more positive direction than it's been heading in, because Kelly Kelly is a great girl. I mean, she represents the Divas so wonderfully. But I consistently talk about Kelly here on YouTube.com, Jonathan Clarke 22. I recently posted a video where I believe Kelly Kelly was overrated in WWE, talking about some of the pros and cons of having Kelly Kelly under contract and using her to better storylines. I think that Kelly's come a long way since being a put-over girl in ECW, WWE's Raw and SmackDown brands, to being a wonderful Divas champion, but I think she is significantly overrated ever since the whole 100 Hottest Women's article that she was featured in. So I think that she's definitely overrated, and I think that people like Beth Phoenix and Natalya have definitely had to sit on the bench and the sidelines and watch people like Kelly Kelly escalate and rise to stardom when they could have been getting the push all along. So I really think that this is what the Divas division needs, and I hope it's a direction they keep going in. You can find the Kelly Kelly Overrated video in our YouTube channel, in our video archives at youtube.com, Jonathan Clarke 22. It's worth checking out. I also talked about the state of women's wrestling in a 7-part video series found here on our YouTube channel with a animated graphic for it. If you're checking us out on YouTube, you see the graphic for the Kelly Kelly Beth Phoenix examination video. It's the graphic from Hell in a Cell, great graphic, and I like the graphics for Hell in a Cell. That also featured Randy Orton versus Mark Henry for the first time in a Hell in a Cell match, the first Hell in a Cell match with Mark Henry in it, and the first ever triple threat Hell in a Cell match for the WWE title, featuring current champion John Cena at the time, CM Punk, and Del Rio, who actually won the title in the first three-way Hell in a Cell match by pinning CM Punk after John Cena had been locked out of the cell by Del Rio, one of his oppositions. Hell in a Cell will be available on WWE Home Video DVD in the coming months, so make sure you check that out. I think it's great. I think it's great that this is all happening for the Divas division now. And the state of women's wrestling couldn't be looking any better with people like Beth Phoenix and Natalya as the Divas champion, and representing it as co-Divas champions. That seems to be the way the Divas division is certainly heading in, since Lay Cool represented as co-Divas champions. The Bella Twins picked up right where Lay Cool left off, and now the Divas of Doom are doing it. And the TNA Knockouts division is looking absolutely phenomenal, with people like Winter and Angel Williams really going at it and benefiting the Knockouts division in TNA. I think that women's wrestling is definitely taking a turn for the positive side of things more than a turn for the worse. But if the Divas of Doom lose the Divas Championship sooner than expected, I think that we'll go right back to square one, where people like Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres will continue to decimate the Divas division in a very negative way. I think that they've definitely represented it well in terms of looks and beauty, and definitely, but I think that the Divas division is definitely crying for people like Trish Stratus to show up. I think we need more divas with more talent. I think we need matches where people don't use divas matches as an excuse to go to the bathroom or get something to eat, which a lot of indie workers find themselves doing. They comment on that here for the HEW Entertainment Variety Radio Show when we have an interview. A lot of indie workers, I find especially, use the Divas matches as an excuse to go to the bathroom and get something to eat. I'm sure a lot of fans do as well. So the Divas division definitely has a very negative way of being looked at. So I think we need longer Divas matches. I think that, for a while there, when they were doing 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, it was given more Divas on Raw the opportunity to have exposure on both Raw and SmackDown. And with the Super Shows happening each week now, an idea put into fruition by COO Triple H, I think it was giving more Divas the opportunity to be inside the ring and get more television exposure. But again, a con of having these 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 6-on-6, 8-on-8 was the fact that 3 or 4 Divas would carry the match, and 4 or 5 on a team wouldn't even be tagged into the match, and the match would be anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes. So I think that, definitely there were a lot of cons and a lot of pros with the 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 8-on-8, whatever. But I like the idea of having it be, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 8-on-8. I would have liked to have seen that continued on Raw and SmackDown, rather than seeing it go back to 2 Divas being in a program from week to week, and then after 3 or 4 months of having the program exaggerated on and evaporated on, and everything that you can associate the feuds with. I think that the fans got sick of it, and eventually then 2 or 3 new Divas were thrown into it, and it really ruined it. But I really like the idea of how they were having 6-on-6, 8-on-8, whatever each week, and they really ruined it by going back to singles matches, putting people like Kelly Kelly and Natalya together, Beth Phoenix and Eve together. I think that what the Divas division really needs now are programs with Divas we haven't seen in programs before. Like one thing that I've talked about here on YouTube and in our audio archives on our website in our radio form is the fact that I really want to see a Eve Torres Kelly Kelly program over the Divas Championship with the 2 of them feud, rather than having them be a tag team against the Bellas or the Divas of Doom. I think that we need something like Eve versus Kelly Kelly, with Kelly Kelly playing a babyface, or a heel rather than a babyface. I think that what we need is something different happening for the Divas division. I think that Eve versus Kelly Kelly is what we need. I think we need Kelly Kelly playing a heel role, something she hasn't done since the early part of 2006 when ECW was implemented into the storylines. I think that's what the Divas division needs, rather than seeing Kelly Kelly be a babyface 52 out of a 53-week year. I think that it's what we need. I think we need Kelly Kelly being a heel character more often than a babyface, kind of like how Tori Wilson surprised us all in 2005 when she made this unexpected transition after being drafted from SmackDown to Raw, from being a babyface for 3 or 4 years into an unexpected heel, and herself and Candice definitely represented the Divas division as powerful heels, and I think that the WWE's been crying for something like that to happen for the last half of a decade, and I am one who is anticipating this heel turn from Kelly Kelly, something that was expected to happen back in January or February of 2011 that didn't be followed through with due to the cancellation of many of Kelly's storylines, including a cancellation of a Drew McIntyre Kelly Kelly storyline, which had a lot of potential and could have ended up with Kelly Kelly turning heel then. But with this aggressive side she's been showing, this is a perfect opportunity for her to turn on Eve Torres and make this unexpected heel turn. Then we can have this feud between Eve and Kelly Kelly over the Divas Championship. Here is a way for this storyline to go. Have Eve win the title in San Antonio at Vengeance,